welcome to A New View. We are so glad you've joined us. This week's episodes are going to be all about gifts. Homemade gifts, edible gifts, and simple gift ideas. And we have our special friend and guest, Tina Johnson, with us today. And so we are so glad you've joined us. And my first verse that I want to share with you is one of my favorites. It's James 1:17, and it says, "Every good and perfect gift comes from above."
Amen.
So that even means that the creativity that God gives us is something that He wants us to use, and Tina is definitely one that has the creative gene. So we just want to welcome you, Tina. Thanks for making all this beautiful stuff.
That's right.
And tell us a little bit about why you enjoy making things so much.
Because it's a God-given talent, I enjoy making things that help bless other people. Whether it's making a wreath for somebody, knowing it's going into their home, it's going to be something that they're going to cherish. I put my heart and soul into each and every single thing I make, and I know that the family it's going to will really appreciate it.
Oh, I love that. When do you think you discovered that you loved this kind of stuff? Because you are very crafty, like legit, really good at crafting.
As a child, I would even make whatever I could, draw out drawings or whatever I could as a child to give to my friends, whether it was making bracelets or it was making necklaces or whatever. As a young child, I always loved to give gifts to people.
Yeah, you like to do your handmade stuff and give it. Oh, that is so sweet. And you've stuck with it.
Yes.
And it is really a gift. It
Yes.
is a wonderful gift.
Because throughout my life, I've been able to use it at different times, either to bring in extra income or to just even whenever I worked in retail, the idea that I got to wrap up a gift for someone and knowing that it would make them feel special was just where my heartstrings were.
Yeah.
So
That's sweet. I love that.
She loves to give gifts, and I love that because, I love to give gifts, but I'm not as crafty. Now, years ago, I used to be crafty in a different area, and as some of you may know, my dad was an artist, self-taught. My identical twin sister's an artist, and my daughter is an artist, and I have some nieces that are very artistic in the art realm, but I did not get that artistic gene. Now I'm crafty in other areas and stuff, and I like to write, and I can do poetry and all that, but I look at this and I think, I have a great idea, I'm going to do it, but it does not turn out like that.
Yeah, it's like those memes you see a lot of the time where they'll do the picture of what they saw on Pinterest, and then next to it they do like their own, and they'll call it like a Pinterest fail. Yeah, you could use some of my pictures for that for sure.
Right. Or you can see the little corsages for homecoming. Well, the real ones, they want like $40 for them, and it's just like a single flower. And so when my son went to homecoming a few years ago, I thought, I can get someone to make that, or I can make that. I'm not going to pay $40 for one single flower, and you had to order them. So, and so I said, I can do that. And then, of course, when you get to Hobby Lobby, you're like, you're overbuying, and you're like, I should have just paid $40 for this.
Right. Or you're buying other stuff that you're like, wait, when is that craft going to get done?
But I only spent $20, and I made this really pretty, and, it was a keepsake kind of corsage, hand corsage, things like that. But that's about the only crafty thing I've done in a while.
That's funny. Well, I'm all about the research and the science stuff. And so I have heard before, I think Brene Brown talks about in one of her books, the importance of being creative. And she does reference some of that as playtime, but how important that is for us as adults. I think as children, just like you talked about, that's when you noticed your gift about it. Yes. You may not have seen it as a gift at that point, but that's when you started, when you were a kid, loving to craft and make things for people. Well, as I was reading an article that CNN posted on their website, and it says, crafting can help those of us who suffer from anxiety, depression, or chronic pain. Experts believe it may also help ease stress, increase happiness, and protect the brain from damage caused by aging. It goes on to say some of this science is just being researched. But some of what they're finding is the effects of crafting is similar to meditation, which I think is super cool. Yeah.
I can see that.
A lot of women, just like you talked about, whether it's crafting on this level, which is like a game, or crafting on some of the stuff that we like to do that may not be as lovely, we still may get the same effect in our minds.
I was thinking, as you were saying that, I was not crafty, but actually I am crafty in the kitchen.
You are. I was thinking that about you too.
I make up a lot of recipes, and I don't measure anything, but I love to cook. But when I was just thinking about that, when I get in the kitchen and I'm like preparing a meal or several meals or whatever it is at the same time, that is kind of a meditation time for me, because the Lord is speaking through me. I mean, all the time while I'm doing that. It's kind of like, I like that. So I guess I'm creative in the kitchen a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Right.
So thinking about this, being crafty as a gift, someone once told me that I have gift projection because I can decorate a cake for a wedding or party or whatever,
Right.
and I just assume that everyone else can too, and it's not necessarily the
Exactly.
case. So our gifts and whatever your creative area is are different from every other people.
Every other
That's
peeps.
true. That's true. Yeah, because I cannot decorate a cake at all.
And I
No.
think that's some part of where our individuality comes in. God made each and every one of us different
Yes.
for a purpose and for His purpose. And if we can tap into that, then we really can flourish in His kingdom.
Yes, and bless other people in the
Right.
process too.
Because our giftings are not going to be just like the spiritual gifts that they speak about in the Bible. Our giftings are all differently, but they're all needed. So that's what's so beautiful. I mean, you look at how creative God was and how many variations of butterflies He's done, or just colors and the color schemes, and just it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
So your gift is not just creativity, but helpful. You seem to always be there, able to lend a hand in many different ways. And so you actually not only make these things and to sell or for people for gifts, but you will decorate for someone.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Anytime if you have an event that comes up, I would be more than glad to help you in arranging what you may already have, or if you have are wanting to change what you have, we can use part of what you have and maybe go from there to add to it to make your home feel special. And sometimes we all get stuck in the same rut of having the same exact thing in our house every year, and you may want to change that up. And by adding a few simple items, you can do that.
Yeah.
Whether it's a different ribbon adding to your Christmas tree or different things like that, you can change it up with very little money.
Yeah,
Right.
that's good. That's a good
And
point.
some people I just don't like to decorate. I just don't. I mean, thank goodness my daughter's a really minimalist in simplicity, and she likes the decoration, but she's so minimalist. And I'm like, you go, girl, you put that up, and it's great. But I just really don't like to. I'm not a big decorator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just-
am, so I speak your language.
Yeah. And my thing is, like, I enjoy it. I know my mom was just asking me a couple days ago. She said, because she's like you, I think she used to paint, like when we were growing up, she would paint shirts and stuff for extra income. She always found a resourceful way to craft and make money while being home with all 800 of her children. I'm kidding. And so she asked me not too long ago, she's like, so are you going to change up your Christmas decorations this year? And I wanted to be like, what's wrong with my Christmas decorations? But she just means, I think, like what you're talking about, like using some of what you have, but whether it's adding another color, another ribbon, a different flower, a different ball shape. I know it sounds so funny, right? But it does make a little bit of a difference. So she was asking me that. And of course, my little mind was working like, do I really want to buy? Where do I want to? So I think that's really neat. There are
Just
our
changing
minds
the
just
ribbon,
work
yeah.
differently. Yeah.
Yeah, just changing the ribbon, because I think about, we have this little fiber optic tree that plays music and spins around, because we used to only do fresh trees, and then our crazy Cleo, the cat, he did not like the trees, and so we had Cleo for 14 years, so we've just adopted the fiber optic, and it plays Christmas carols, and it's perfect size, and it's all I want right now. And so my daughter does change the ribbon out, because she'll put the ribbon going down.
So she does her decorating.
So she does I was just thinking, she does change the ribbon out a little bit there, and it's a quick fix, because you go through those aisles at the big stores, and they'll have every theme for the holidays. And recently my husband and I were in one of the big stores, and we were going down, and he was like, wow, this is overwhelming. Like, you can do Christmas beach theme, you can do Christmas with deer and gold and so and reds, and I mean every color scheme, everything. And then he started looking at some of those things.
So speaking
show
of,
us,
okay.
yes.
Oh, that is
Kim is
beautiful,
going
Tina.
to show us. Look at this one.
So Tina made
that
this.
That one would go in
Tell
the
us
beach
about
theme.
it, Tina.
So sure enough, I know that Michelle loves beach themes, and her house is done in these colors. So that's what gave me the idea. And whenever I went down one of these
wow,
aisles
that's so
and
cute.
saw all those little beach
That is
themes,
so
Yes.
pretty.
Then
You've
I
got
was able to
starfish
fit- yeah.
and
Oh my gosh, I do. I
The
love
glass
all of
balls
those.
with
Yes.
the what do you call that, rope?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Pretty.
That's
The
really cool.
starfish, then the sand castle, and there's even
That
a little
one's really
mermaid
cute.
in it.
A little mermaid in
So I
it.
was even able to put it towards a theme, thinking of Michelle's house.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Because I needed a sample.
It's still Christmas,
But it is
but
still
Yeah.
it can
Christmassy,
be.
but it
yes.
also could be hung up all year round.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's true.
There's nothing
That's true.
stopping
It
that
can-
from happening.
So is that how you for someone like me, if I'm going to go into Hobby Lobby or a store, is one of the first things I need to think of is my theme,
Yes.
and then start from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Really, a theme carries you through whether you're doing a baby shower, whether you're doing a wedding shower, whether you're doing Christmas decorations, Easter decorations. If you have a certain theme that you can tie it around, it keeps you to stay in a little bit more focused.
Stay in your lane, girl.
Yeah,
right?
stay in your lane and just pick out things for that.
Okay.
that
So
theme.
with a wreath,
Yes.
wreath, listen, a
It's
wreath.
a wreath.
A wreath,
It is.
wreath. Yeah. So with your wreath, I don't know what's the base or whatever, but what's one of the first items I'm going to go look for that? If I'm going to.
That one was done with a straw wreath. These other two up here were done with the wire
Oh, I see. Okay.
wreath behind. It kind of determines what you're wanting to, how big you want it to be. What kind of style you're going to use when putting it together, as to what your supplies are.
Okay.
But basically, you get a wreath form, whatever color you want that wreath form to be. Then you get pot cleaners from there. If you're going with the straw, you need the floral.
Are they like the green floral little
those
ties?
little
Or
picks that you put in.
Okay, yeah, like little floral pins.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
really?
floral pins.
Okay.
Yes, for that one. For
Okay.
These, you use more of the pipe cleaners.
Is that what
you
this
see.
is?
That's what
Oh,
that
And
is.
so
okay.
you can't really see from the camera, but she was really smart about just using like a
Coordinating.
silver.
Yes.
So if you
little
do
bling,
see it,
so
it
it
looks like it was
blends.
part of the decoration. Because
Right.
I'm over here like, oh, like the green ones. If I would have used the green,
That's
help
all
me,
we saw.
Jesus, help me, Lord. This is why we have Tina.
Like this
But
one,
you
I
could
did
use the green.
I did
Okay.
use green in that one. And
Okay.
A little bit of cream, depending on what ribbon I was attaching to it. But in this one, I used cream pipe cleaners because that was my main color.
Okay.
And
It's
that
really
base.
pretty, Tina.
So it just depends on, like with this one, with the silver and gold, I went down the aisle where silver and gold, the balls were, trying to decide what I wanted to put into it. And then the ribbons, I usually try to find 3 to 4 different ribbons to
Okay.
make the bows give it a little bit dimension to it.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Those are hard to make. You're talented.
Yes.
I have 2 different ways of making bows. Those are kind of just strips of fat ribbon that are 12 inches long, and you just cut them and then put the little fishtails on them, and then you just fold them in half with the pipe cleaner, and then really you just put
Pan
them
it
in
out.
place. Now these bows here are a little bit more different.
Yeah, you got to know what you're
There.
doing there.
Amazing.
Okay.
Whenever you're making a bow
my
like
gosh.
that.
And
Those
she
ribbons
used,
are so
and
pretty.
again, you
Yes.
used just the white colored pipe
Yes.
cleaners because it goes with what you have.
Exactly. See, these are just
Careful,
the ribbons, and you just put them, attach them, and then you're just folding them out like that, and it's all very.
Now, let me ask you this. What if we are crafting or decorating on a budget? Tell me a couple of the best places I'm going to go to get the best deals on these supplies.
I would say your Joann Fabrics.
Okay.
I'm a coupon queen.
Okay.
So I go on my app of Joann's Fabric Store and
Okay.
pull down the coupons from that. If I don't find what I need there, I go to Michael's.
Okay.
But Joann's is one place where they even use other people's coupons.
So like the
Good to
honor
know.
prices?
Yes.
Okay.
They honor,
I'm all like,
coupons.
Hold
from,
on one second.
Hobby Lobby and from Michael's. So
Okay.
you can really stack up those coupons. Right now, a lot of their Christmas stuff is already 60% off.
Wow, good
so
to know.
the only thing you're going to run into, though, is it's going very fast.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm glad we're really doing this show this early before
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Some people are like, why are you doing anything before Thanksgiving? And it's because the supplies are really going fast.
Yeah.
In the city of Houston, we have so many crafters. And,
Yeah. Good point.
So,
Craft
Yes.
shows and
yeah,
Yeah.
craft shows going on. Probably 5 every weekend somewhere.
That's true.
So there's a lot of people that are really picking up the supplies really fast.
Yeah.
And this gives you some time too, because as you've noticed probably on the lower part of the television there, you're seeing it come across and it's giving you Tina's name, her phone number, and her email. Because if you need help decorating, if you would like to get some of these things made or just some ideas or have her help you, and she also does parties, which is great. She will even do a party and kind of like a little crafting party for
That
you
would
and
be
some of your
fun,
friends.
yeah.
So you have her information there, and we're also going to share it on our Facebook page. page, but you have that information, so you can definitely contact her. And that's why we're doing it so early, is because we want to give enough time so that in case you need something, this is really gives you enough adequate time before Christmas.
Now, I've been eyeballing these pieces. Can we talk about this? Because these are so cute.
These are some simple little centerpieces.
Here, let me see.
That I just took regular.
I love
This
it.
is actually a Snapple bottle, and just covered it with some excess of the fabric that I had left over from the wreath there, and then I put this little. I had this.
So is this an ornament?
This is an ornament.
Did you have to add that, or was that on there?
It was already on there.
It's a fancy little ornament. That's
Yeah.
cute.
That's a great wedding centerpiece
Yes, it
too,
could
like
be
you were
a
saying,
wedding.
like because I know just in weddings, those centerpieces can be expensive, but
Yeah.
how many times have your friends save the little Snapple bottles or whatever, juice bottles or something that are glass, or even mason jars, and this is a great because these are fresh little roses. That's
Yes,
beautiful.
I was able to get the flowers picked up at HEB for $5.
Yeah.
So you could actually tear them down and make several different of the little Snapple vases. And then this is just
That's
a vase
cute.
I picked up. I collect whenever I go to Goodwill or any kind of
that's good.
secondhand stores like that. I always look for vases.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because you could, they don't have to be the same size. They can be all different sizes, and
And
then
it's-
just a little bit dimension.
That's really good because it's a little simple ribbon. I was
Right.
just thinking,
It was the
doesn't
same
have-
ribbon
yeah.
that was on here,
Yeah.
and on that wreath that I had
Yeah.
left over, and I just tied them around it and made
And you
simple
could,
knots.
and you could change it out. It could
Yes.
be on your table. You just
Yes.
change it out for each
Yeah.
season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simply change out your flowers.
Whatever your
So
colors
cute.
are.
My favorite flower to use really is carnations because they last a really long time.
Those are cute.
Carnations can last up to really 3 weeks for you.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
That's really nice.
So
Pretty.
you all know that my attention to detail. If it's a
Yes.
Oh, yes, we know.
If I see a
sees
vase
everything.
and it's a Snapple bottle, I'm like, oh, that's a Snapple bottle.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either.
I touched
yeah.
those earlier today, and she brought until you said it.
Yeah.
did
I
you
didn't
know
see
it was a Snapple bottle?
Not until you
No,
said it.
and that's what I'm saying. It was so disguised. So then, I mean,
Yeah.
you could
And it's
really
actually
use
a really cute bottle shape. That's the
is.
other
It is
thing.
a
It's
great-
super
It
cute.
is.
It's dainty, but
Yes.
thick enough to do something with it.
Yeah.
Right,
So
exactly.
okay, so this isn't all you do. You also have behind us.
Cards.
I'm gonna pull this out,
Okay.
and you can
Stephanie's
talk
gonna
about
show
it
me these
while.
cards.
Well, and I
we're
got to do
talking
this
about
in a way
showing
that's.
your creativity.
So I'm gonna show the camera first,
Okay.
because this is just what you put together of a sampling of all. These are all handmade, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see any of this, but
So,
okay.
these are-
How about I
this
just do
is
this for a
Very
second?
simple way to start with creativity if you don't think you have any. Is to
Yeah, that's true. That's a good.
Got to start somewhere.
These are kind of like
gonna
small
turn.
little puzzles. You cut out your pieces and you simply layer them together and make a card. And so this is very good project for your senior citizens, people who are at home and don't have anything to do.
The teenagers.
Teenagers,
Yeah, put 'em to
yes,
work.
any kind of thing, and you're able to then, here's the Christmas cards, but then you have them for thank you cards, you have them for birthday cards, and you really have a different arrangement of all the different holidays. It's very useful to have cards made for. But I make all of these, and all of my friends and relatives look forward to getting them each and
Yes,
every
you
year.
have good cards.
I also take care of senior citizen, and my little 98-year-old lady said, "Why do you put so much work into them?" And I said, "Because my friends and family that get them really cherish them and look forward to them each year." So I put a little bit of my heart and soul into each one of them, and they really know that and recognize that. So I know it's not a card that they're going to be just throwing in the trash. They're going to really keep them and cherish them. So
And it
it's
can be a
just
decoration for years
exactly.
to come.
Actually, you could even frame them and put
That's
them in little
true.
frames and then display them around your house if you wanted to. So yes, and if anyone is interested in any of my cards, just give me a text. I even do card making classes
Yes.
to where I could come to your house, gather a couple of your friends together, and we could make some cards. I work with several different companies, one being Stampin' Up, one being close to my heart, where I also do scrapbooking pages, and then Anna Griffin are the lower half of those cards. And her kits just come in boxes with everything in them, which is very affordable and easy. You don't have to go and buy any other item to put those cards together. Everything is already in the box ready for you. So
What a fun idea. You know, because a lot of those places, you know, the painting places and the little crafty places, those are really popular. But how neat is it to have it in the comfort of your own home, have some great snacks, you know, have, we're all about that, to have some great snacks, have your friends over, and then just, you know, really find out, you know, your craftiness.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's just a really busy time of year that to say, okay, instead of, you know, one more whatever thing you don't really want to do, you could say, hey, let's 6 of us sit around the dining room table, make these cards together. That's kind of therapeutic. But in the end, you don't have to go, where am I going to hang this painting? You can go, oh, I can give out these.
That's
so
true.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
I love that.
And
That's a great idea.
There's many gratification to them. You get it, you work on the project, it takes you maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and then you have that instant gratification. As to working on a painting takes, you know, a lot of time, even quilts. There again, it takes a lot of time to get that self-gratification. But little bitty cards like these, it's just automatic, and you see the reward when you give it out to someone else and then share your love with them.
Yes, that's good. You know what this is making me realize too is there's something about you just saying, like, you noticed this when you were a kid. You know, I still have small children. You know, Sophia, you've made stuff with her. You've made stuff for her. And she enjoys making things. And I have to remember as a mom that that's important, you know, to make sure and encourage her, because we're living in the age right now, we're raising our kids in the age of let's get on our iPads, or she likes to make little videos and things like that, which is great. But I need to remind her, you know, to use her hands and to, you know, make those little cards and the notes, and all that is so important, because it is fun for her, but she's not even realizing what it's doing for her little soul. So moms, you know, sit down and craft with your kids, or encourage them to craft. And if they, you know, I'm always like, oh, please don't make a mess, but I have to remember it's okay to make a mess, you know.
There's lessons in the mess. And
there's lessons in the excess glitter.
Yes. Oh, I love that, you know, because my daughter actually saw all the pine cones down. We have a lot of pine trees in the area. And she said, I'm going to make a wreath. And I said, that's kind of funny. This week we're talking about, you know. And so she had some ideas. So she just went and got some wire out of her dad's garage, but she was going to hot glue the pine cones on it. I said, you might need a little felt on there first. And we had it. And she used all like recycled things. She only used a few little things from the dollar store. But she did it. But it took her about 4 hours. And then she was cleaning up the mess. And she's like, for my first try, it's not bad, but boy, that takes a long time. I said, see, you know, some people it can take a really long time. Some people it can't. But she's a little artist, so she does like, you know, creating, but she's really kind of crafty, though. I mean, she, if y'all have noticed, you know, like she took a broom handle and she wrapped it with the raffia and then hung like these little like glass, like little succulent plants in her room.
Yeah, that was really
cute.
And
I'm like, she's like, we don't use this broom anymore. It needs to go in the trash. I just cut she sawed it. I'm like, you are so
very cool.
crafty, creative, and just using what you have.
Yes.
I almost, it was like the crafter's big mistake. My son came to me the other day and he was like wanting, you know, X number of different materials to put something together. I can't remember what he was wanting to make right now. And he's 15 and I'm thinking, why do you want to, can we just go buy it?
Oh, yeah.
That's true, because that's my first reaction. Like, we can buy that.
That's the crafter's sin. That's the word I was going for.
The crafter's sin.
That's a good sin. You can buy that. You can make. Oh, that's
true. That's really good. Yeah.
And it makes you, once you start doing it, you start to looking at things differently. Just like you may have rosemary growing in your yard, which could also go into a centerpiece like this. Or you may have a certain, you know, plants in your yards that you could bring inside and make things with.
Yeah.
Also pulled in another wreath here and in another swag. I did use pine cones that I had.
She's got that swag.
I had. You can buy this swag. The basic part of that was $1 at the dollar store.
Yeah.
And then I found these these ornaments.
On the table. That's good.
And I put what we've been talking about is the fruit of the spirit.
Love,
that is.
So I found these
gentleness.
I didn't even notice that. She did the fruits of the spirit on those.
The fruit of the spirit on these ornaments. So these ornaments can really
self-control.
Yes.
I need that one.
Year round.
So
really good.
These are plastic?
They're plastic.
Okay, if you don't mind, where'd you get these?
At Joann's.
Are you going to
And do you use like a little marker?
Yes, just use to go marker to write on them.
You wrote these on here.
Yes.
Were they already glittered like this?
No,
Oh,
she did 'em.
Tina.
She is crafty,
They were
I'm
just
telling
plain.
you.
Stop it.
I had bought and spray glitter to put on my pine cones, And the Holy Spirit said, just spray them in those things and put some glitter in there. And
That
shit
is,
on
yeah,
there.
because they look frosted.
Exactly.
Very
And some
pretty.
people may not know
You
what a
have to-
swag is. It goes like either as a centerpiece down your
Yeah.
table or
Right.
on your fireplace mantle.
Yeah.
Because my daughter, when she was doing the pine cones, I said, you know, you can either do a swag or a wreath. And she's like, what's a swag, Mom?
That's
You know,
what my
the-
son was like. Why are you talking about
swag.
swag?
Yeah, my son was
got
like,
that swag,
I
boo.
got the swag, boo.
Little play
But-
on words.
Right. But that is, it goes down your, or on a table piece
Right.
or like a
That's
shelf.
going to go around my neck because it's
Or
so
last
cute.
year I took like the one that
Super
we have
cute.
here, and
That's
as I was
cute.
getting Christmas cards
That's
in,
really cute.
I would staple a hole in the Christmas card and tie them to my swag on my fireplace.
Yes.
So there again,
yes.
I used
What a
the
great
cards
idea.
that people were sending to me
Cute.
to hang on my swag.
That's cute.
So-
Okay, I do have one question. So we did all this decorating. Now, what's the best way to store this or put it away for next year? Any tips on that?
I would say just putting it in plastic containers that have lids on them.
Okay.
These can fold in half very easily as we
So don't
saw
take it
down
all
here.
apart.
No, do not take
Like
it
that
apart.
kind of stuff. Just kind of
Exactly.
nicely.
No, just
I know it's a
kinda
silly
nicely.
question, but it's also good to
No,
remember
it's-
how to
Yeah,
put it
is.
away.
And like I said,
It
those folded nicely as we were transporting
we were
them here.
putting them in the car. We put them in the plastic bags and brought them here, and then you could store them in a bin on top of each other in the plastic bags.
Any tips on sprucing this stuff up after it's flat for a year?
You just take it and move it around, and
Yeah.
because the ribbon are always wired. That's one key thing. You want to make sure your ribbon has wire in
wire.
it. And that
Got to
way
tell
you
somebody
can-
like this one that. Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yes, it does.
because then you
It'll be
can-
all droopy.
You can lift it back up and make it look brand new all over again,
Yeah.
That's
and arrange
great.
it in the place that you want it to be.
That's great.
It's good
Well,
stuff.
we hope that you've gotten excited to decorate for
Yay.
Christmas
Yes.
and that, or any holiday or an upcoming wedding, anything that it might be, that you need just a little crafty help. We hope that you will take advantage and you will contact Tina if you need some help, if you want to host a party for either cards or the makings of the centerpieces, the wreaths, and that you've gotten some great tips. We're going to share more with you on our Facebook page, but we want you to stay tuned for next episode is all about the edible gifts. So thank you again for joining A New View today. We thank you, Tina, for coming and showing us all these lovely, wonderful things that you make. It really is nice to get something that's homemade from the heart. Take care.